Hello everyone, I'm Timothée Raulin. I'm the 3D lead developer at Amplitude Studio. And in this session, I will covering how we handle our file in Humankind. Let's get started. So 6 years ago, when you start to make Endless Space 2, you know how it goes. We start with only a few developers, a few artists, and we start create script, adding some assets. And at start, everything goes well. When you hit the button play, it starts immediately. When the build time is only 2 or 3 minutes, and everything is fine. And then a full teams of artists come, and they add each day a lot of file. And everything starts to slow down. When you play, it takes 20 seconds. The build time grow to 30 minutes. At the end, 1 hour. And most of all, the fresh re-import time is very, very long. At the end of Endless Space 2, it goes to 4 hours. So the result is we are losing a lot of time, a lot of productivity. People get exhausted of waiting. So why it takes time? First, there are some assets that are very, very long to import, particularly two kinds of assets. The big textures we used for our planets were 4K texture, a lot of 4K textures, and we use crush compression and it takes maybe 10 to 20 seconds for each textures, and we have a lot of texture of this kind. And also, some animations could be very, very long to import. But there is also an issue when we use very, very numerous files count. For our FX system, we use a lot of very small files. And it was okay for Git, but not for Unity. Unity do what it can. It's not so easy to handle so many files. So we need a way to handle that. So the idea is to just remove the file. If there is no file in your project, Unity is very fast. So if the file could be in your project when you need it, for example, if you are an artist, you need to integrate your texture, you need to check them, you need to have a fast try and error, you need to be able to modify things. But for other kind of workers, like developers, they don't care about the individual files. They just want the texture appear on the screen. So if the texture could be in an asset bundle, it's okay for them. So we have to find a way to either put the file in project or in asset bundle. This will result in no more import time, and Unity just have a few asset bundle to handle and not hundreds of files. So for how we accomplish that, we do that. First, we have to let down the Unity references. You know, when you reference a texture, for example, you just add a property of kind Unity engine texture today. We can't use it anymore. Instead, we will replace all of our reference by a GUID. And why a GUID and not a string? Because the GUID is only 4 integer and there is no allocation. And we use two kinds of load. In the editor mode, we have the two kinds. So we can either do a Unity editor asset database load asset at pass when the file is in our project, or Unity engine asset bundle load. And in the build, there will be only the second one. the Unity engine asset bundle load. We need also to be able to convert GUID to pass. And as you see, it's only Unity editor function. So everything must be converted before we make the build. And then we have to create asset bundle manually. We can't use the Unity kind of making asset bundle because our new file system have to track where each file is either in this asset bundle or in the project. The trick is all of our assets are in different folders. And when we want to use it with Unity, we just create a symbolic link between the folder and the project Unity. This is the tool we use to configure which symlink is open and which one is closed. We divide it or symlink by profession. For example, this symlinks open audio related data. This one is for character artist, and this one for character animator artist. And this one is for me. It's Dev3D, mostly for shaders. And here for the environment artist, divided between mesh and textures. And composition is when you use different assets to compose a city, for example. For the FX, for the outgame, and this one is very small, and it will be my example. So I click on share and I apply. It will open some import window. I choose a very quick one, and then you see my there is a new folder is here and here that is symbolic link. I show you on Windows, so it appears with a small arrow to show that it's a symlink. In fact, the assets are not here, but here. It's kind. So yes, and we also need an asset explorer. It's here, and here you see the all of our asset bundle, and we can take a look at each one. It acts just like a project. You can also look what Unity handle and the whole asset database. It means all of our assets. It takes a while because there is a lot of assets, as you see. We also need some asset to configure what is the content of each asset bundle. As you see, it's very simple one for this one. It's only just one directory, but for some others, it's more complicated with tip mask or things like that. And we also need a way to produce manually. At first, we build manually the asset bundle and to configure where files goes. So how it looks in the code. I take a simple example, it's frontier settings. There is only one references here and just look like a standard references. But in fact is our internal reference. It uses GUID, but we try to mimic the standard Unity behavior for references. If you double click, it select the object. You can drag and drop. You can also drag and drop from our Asset Explorer. And that's it. And in the code, it just looked like this, we add an attribute, and we add an attribute, and we override the standard property renderer by using a custom property drawer for this kind of attribute. And we code the whole behavior here to mimic or the Unity object field. And we also need to manually load asset because it's not a direct Unity reference. It's only a name, JID, and then when you want to load it, we use our internal function try load asset or load asset. We have to handle errors if there is a missing asset, for example, or broken link, and it has the advantage for us to know if it's if the missing asset is just a broken link or it's just null, because we can it's a null asset, it's JID null, and missing asset is just a JID that mean nothing for our system. And with that, we find a lot of improvement because first we can load all the assets at the same time, and we control it. It's not Unity that load file individually, and we have a very quick build time because there is no more asset bundle to build because we have already done it. But for that we need a continuous integration because we can't continue to build asset bundle manually because they produce conflict, and it's very long. So we use the continuous integration to make automatic asset bundle build. Each time someone change an asset, it will trigger later an asset bundle generation. And it's also allow us to have automatic tests that use build because the build time is very short. It's very short to make a build, to make test. And very important, it's the first step to have data modding. Okay, and the conclusion on Humankind, there is a lot of assets. We have 60 factions, more to come. We have it's numerous assets of textures, models, and texture models. And there is more than 2,000 of illustration, 5,000 animation clips. It's mad, and thousands of small custom assets because it's very convenient to use very small piece of configuration that are actually file, and because we can load all of them at the same time, it doesn't cost. And at the end, the fresh import times, the first time you open the project, it's only 5 minutes. And so when you upgrade your Unity version, it's only 5 minutes for people. And the build time is only 11 minutes, and it's very short. We fight for that. So we can apply the same trick for the code, just the asset bundle will be DLLs. And everything put together, it just allows project with very numerous files, and hence we can make AAA project. So this was just an illustration of how Unity can be modified. And when you start the project, you don't need to make everything. You just use Unity Classic because Unity have a lot of built-in functionality. But then the project goes, and some of the built-in functionality are not well suited to your project, or you want to go further and you want to have, so you just start to replace it. And in our example, it was just the file system. We changed our file system. But we also changed the render pipeline, the lighting, the post-process, the way we produce the terrain, the we renders, the UI, and a lot of other things. But you don't have to replace everything. You can just keep what it works. For us, in Humankind, for example, we keep the animation system, and we also keep the build, the tools, the way we serialize things, and it was everything okay. So thanks for attending this Unity Now session on the way we use asset bundle in Humankind. I hope you've learned a lot to help build your Unity skills and advance your project. And feel free to provide us feedback. Bye.